Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again, and welcome to another music collection update. So let's just get right into it. So first up is, hold on, let me get it out from underneath this whole pile of stuff. Anyway, so first up is Made in Japan by Iron Maiden. I already have a bootleg CD version that has the entire live show on it. It's kind of unfortunate that none of the official versions of this has the entire live show. It's either just 4 or 5 tracks. This is actually the US edition, so it does have 5 tracks instead of just 4 that most versions have. But yeah, I also got this for pretty cheap. I got this for like $30. I've seen this online go anywhere from $100 to 300. But yeah, the vinyl itself was is in like near mint condition. The case is a little beat up around the edges, but it's not too bad. Still very sturdy and still, relatively in good, not relatively in mostly good shape. Um, but yeah, just really good to have this. Actually, just kind of what was I gonna say? Oh, I just kind of happened to have the idea to go to one of the record stores I go to. Not the one I usually go to. The one I usually go to usually just has re-releases of older albums, whereas the one that's a little bit further away that I don't usually go to because it's further away. That one that I went to this time around. Most of the time they won't really have anything interesting, but once in a while they'll be selling some original vinyl pressings of some 70s and 80s rock and metal albums. So I was just lucky to go when they were actually selling something interesting. But yeah. Next up is, hold on. Anyway. So next up is the demo "The True Spirit of Old" by the band Nocturnal Blood. This is a very underrated one-man black metal band. One of the very few modern black metal bands that I actually like. I found a lot of the newer black metal bands just kind of are like a lot of newer thrash metal bands, honestly, that are kind of like one note and just very generic sounding. But this is a very cool, interesting sound to it. Not just this record, but the entire discography of this band. The band itself just has a very cool, unique sound to it that you don't hear in black metal a lot, especially these days. But anyway, this is the debut demo. I do own the only full-length album by this band, as well as their second EP, which I'll get to in a minute. I have it right here. But yeah, just a very cool, underrated black metal band. Speaking of their second EP, that's the next thing. Invocation of Spirits, as you can see on the inside of the cover. This is a 7-inch picture disc EP. And there's the picture, as well as a photo of the band member on the back. Also, I really, really love this band's artwork. Just very cool, kind of eerie, sort of gothic, almost oh, what the hell? There's a little piece of plastic hanging off. Anyway, just a really cool sort of almost gothic / Victorian-ish kind of feel to this artwork. Something that something that's not really done that much anymore. Just a very cool style of artwork. Also, if you get this, just be aware that I don't know if it's just with my copy, but this isn't cut. The vinyl isn't cut too perfectly, so there is some extra plastic residue that's kind of peeling off on the edges. Luckily, the vinyl itself is fine. It's just not the edges aren't cut quite too well. Not quite too well, but there's a little bit of leftover plastic. Yeah, with picture discs, for some reason, it's like 50-50. Sometimes they'll be cut, actually, they'll be, pressed and cut very, very well. Whereas sometimes there'll be a little extra, like, plastic on the edges here. This is the first one that I actually personally own that's like that. I know there's a lot of other people that complain that some picture discs they have have a little too much extra plastic on the edges, but that that weren't cut too well. But anyway, just heads up if you want to buy a picture disc. Just a warning that sometimes they aren't cut too well. And there's a little extra plastic that you kind of have to like peel off a bit on the edge. Anyway, enough rambling. Not next, but anyway. So this is a little flyer that comes with it. It's nothing much, just some kind of information on the recording process and stuff and the release date. Anyway. What's next? So next up is the album Possessed by Metal by the band The Force. And despite their name, they're not Star Wars related or anything. They're not Star Wars themed. Anyway, this is a really cool underrated thrash metal band from Paraguay. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so South America has some really great underrated metal bands. That don't really get enough attention, mainly because I don't know exactly, but I guess perhaps that they're I don't know. Just it seems like the way bands are promoted in record companies in South America aren't. At least from what I've seen with certain bands, the promotion doesn't get through to a lot of other countries for some reason. Now there's some bands that do, like Sepultura, but that I don't think they got into the eye of the mainstream of the not mainstream, but in sort of the word of mouth into other metal scenes throughout the world. But it did take them a while, I guess, to be known outside of just South America. Same thing with a lot of other bands like that. This one as well. I don't hear too many people outside of people who are from South America or even Paraguay specifically that sort of really talk about this band all that much. Yeah, just a super underrated band. Definitely gonna review this album as soon as possible. Probably within the next couple of days. Anyway. Alright, and lastly is this really cool rehearsal demo. It's not official. It's not really a bootleg either. It's sort of like an unofficial release. At least that's what it was labeled as. This is the Show No Mercy rehearsal demos. Oh yeah, so it was 83. For some reason I was thinking 84, but it's like, no, that can't be it. Show No Mercy was already out by then. Yeah. So, kind of interesting little sort of like, thing that kind of is, I don't know if this is really a well-known bootleg or if it's just some kind of thing that most people don't know about. I know I can't find much information on it other than the title and the fact that it's a bootleg. Anyway, yeah, definitely gonna review this at some point. Anyway, so that's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.